If you are still relying on Instagram to grow your coaching business in 2025, you are already behind. By 2026, 99% of coaches will be out of business, and in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how you can get into the 1% so that your business actually still grows in 2026. My name is Trevor, and I've been consistently making anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 a month inside of my B2C coaching business in a totally different niche. And I've been using a little bit of an unorthodox way to acquire the clients to that business. And what I'm about to show you in this video is what that method actually is, but more importantly, why it works. And so if you understand this, you'll actually have a chance of being able to grow your business month over month in 2026, unlike most people will. Now, here's what's happening with coaches right now. We right now, as coaches, are in a trust recession. People just straight up don't trust coaches that much anymore. It's the reality of the game. The more people that are creating content, the more people that are scamming people, the more people that are selling bad programs leads to the market having more and more distrust in the average person, even if you're doing things the right way. And this goes hand in hand with the methods that people are using to actually generate their clients. You see, if you're depending on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, you are getting the worst of that trust recession. And what ends up happening is inside of this trust recession, it's essentially a race to the bottom because there is so much distrust in the marketplace, but then there's also still people that do need help. Coaches are simply just competing on price and not actually the value of what they provide inside of their program. There's two other problems that go hand in hand with this problem. Number one is that you're creating videos and stories on Instagram and TikTok. You're essentially trying to sell a $3,000 to $5,000 program through 10 to 60-second videos at the most. Number two is that AI is coming to disrupt the entire marketplace. And I'm sure you're starting to see it already with people doing like the Sora videos. AI is coming more and more, and people are creating fake content using AI. Eventually, as time progresses, people are going to actually eventually start using this AI generated content to start to try to sell things to people. And so here's the reality, and here's why 2026 will actually be the tipping point and the breaking point for most people. As this AI generated content floods the market, the trust recession is going to be worse and worse for you. And if you're not doing effective things to actually build trust in people outside of just 15 to 60-second videos, you're going to get screwed. Because what's going to end up happening is platforms like Instagram and TikTok are going to be focused even more on pushing out entertainment-based content and not educational-based content. And as a byproduct of this, people's attention spans are going to get fragmented even more, and it's going to be harder and harder to capture people's attention. I firmly believe that in 2026, almost half of the coaches that you see on the internet and on the marketplace are going to go extinct. And of the 50% that do stay in business, there's going to be a small margin of those people, we'll call it the 10%, that will succeed using this. My friends, this is what I call the YouTube AI system. Because while everybody's fighting on TikTok and Instagram, creating a bunch of short videos trying to capture people's attention, the way that you actually build trust in people and get them to persuade them to pay you $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 is by creating deep trust through long form content. Everybody's trying to create the perfect hooks and the perfect content strategies on TikTok and Instagram, but all a hook is trying to hook someone's attention but not actually keep it. If you create a bunch of videos and your ideal client binges all of those videos, at the very most you'll have is 30 minutes to an hour of actual content in front of these people. If you use YouTube and AI, you can create content that actually builds trust in people, positions you as the authority without having to compete with a bunch of other people and try to make the perfect hooks and perfect videos. And the reality is too, is when you build a YouTube subscriber base, you actually own that subscriber base. I guess you don't technically own it, but you own it way more than you do on Instagram and TikTok. So the thesis is simple. You start creating long form YouTube content that talk a little bit more about you, your story, your offer, your unique mechanism, and all that stuff. Even if you only start getting a couple dozen views, these couple dozen views will actually consume your content and actually start building trust with you. As opposed to getting a couple dozen views on another place like TikTok and Instagram, the percentage of those people that actually care is going to be marginally less. Then once you start creating a little bit of content like this, you actually use the strength of AI to analyze your videos and to tell you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong to improve your content at scale. After you start creating those first pieces of content, then you'll start creating better content that gets more views and gets more of your ICP watching your videos. And then you do the same thing again with AI to create even better content over time. This is almost impossible to do, by the way, with things like ChatGPT, where it just gives you a script for a video but doesn't actually give you feedback on your mannerisms, how you speak, what you do inside of your videos that specifically gets people interested, whereas other AI video analysis tools are actually able to do this. Now, here's how I personally know from firsthand experience that this actually works. Number one is that before I started my B2C business, that again makes me anywhere from 15 to 20K per month, with the main mechanism of selling clients is through YouTube. Before I ran that business, I was actually a closer inside of a B2B business that taught people how to run Instagram ads. And so while I was inside of that business as a closer, I was taking dozens and dozens of sales calls every single day, and I got to see the absolute worst of it inside of the coaching space. People showing up to the call not trusting me or the business at all. People wasting my time and no showing to their appointment. Gotta be one of the most frustrating things. Like, how can you not even manage a calendar? Number three, I would deal with tons of objections. I'd get to the end of the call, everything looked like it was going good, and then these people just start spewing out objections. On the flip side, when I started my B2C business, that again makes me anywhere from 15 to 20K per month with only a couple hours of work, this business had the exact opposite of those things. I tracked this in detail because I was so fascinated with it. I had a 5% no-show rate. Basically, if I had 20 calls, 19 of them were showing up. Of the calls that showed up, I had a 92% close rate. I'm not even kidding you. This is the truth. And this was a polar opposite to what I was experiencing as a closer inside of that B2B business. Literally, the main difference is the B2B business was predicated on using Instagram content, Instagram ads, and appointment setters. The B2C business that I still run to this day, we're creating YouTube content. And the difference is that when people watch the B2C content on YouTube and they watch hours upon hours of me and digest my content, they show up to the sales call. They already know what I do. They already know that they're not going to waste my time and F around with me. They already trust me, and I just close them over the phone. On the B2B business, it was the most frustrating thing ever. We try to force people to watch pre-call content that they should watch before the call so they can get educated. And then they would show up to the call and still ask, "What do you guys do again? I saw a bunch of other competitors running the same type of ads. What makes you guys different?" I promise you, as somebody who has experienced both worlds, it has been a night and day shift. And so at this point, you really have like two options that you can do for yourself. You can continue doing what everyone else is doing. You can run the Instagram ads funnel, the profile visit funnel to try to get followers and DMs on Instagram. And certainly you can make money with that. It's just getting harder and harder, especially headed into 2026, because what you're effectively doing is you're just competing based on price. Or you can join the 10% that are actually going to crush it and build momentum and grow their business and become more efficient and more optimal in 2026. You build real authority through long form content, start making some money from it, even if it's not crazy in the beginning. Then you use AI video analysis tools to help you improve your content performance over time. And then it's a self-perpetuating cycle of you creating better content, getting more views and more engagement over time. That results to you getting more clients. Last month, I was able to make just shy of $20,000 inside of my B2C business, only getting 3,000 views. That should tell you all you need to know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you're looking for somebody that can help you implement this YouTube process and you want to learn more, you can DM me on Instagram. I literally don't have an offer, so you'll have to talk to me a little bit more about where you're at to see like if I could even help you with some of these things. Again, I run a B2C business that does quite well, and my main focus is just on that, so I don't even have anything to sell you. I just wanted to create this video to genuinely give coaches advice, because I feel like the info product space is going to have a huge shift in 2026.